can't save yourself rich, but you can spend yourself poor. It's a balance. Taking the risk, taking the swing when there's the opportunity. Nothing risked, nothing gained. One of Buffett's number one rules. At the same time, conserving capital. Going back to Buffett, rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. So the idea that you can't save yourself rich is that there's a finite amount that you can chisel down expenses. There's only so many different things that you can tweak to lower the operating or the running costs of a business. There's an infinite amount of ways to get new revenue. Markets are relatively efficient. Not entirely efficient, it's a mistake to conflate the two of those, but given that level of efficiency that there is, all gains require risk. Smart risk, intelligent risk, but risk nonetheless. And the interesting thing is speaking with business owners, investors, people that we've interacted with and worked with that have been wildly successful, is not so much that they say, I took a risk that didn't work out. It's more the regrets that when they had a calculated risk, when they had an intelligent risk, that they didn't take a big enough swing at it. They didn't deploy enough capital. They didn't chase the revenue opportunity down from a business perspective. It's a matter of quantifying risk, getting your arms around what is the worst case scenario, but never diminishing what the best case scenario might be. And when you see something and it comes into the crosshairs, that you line up and you take the biggest shot that you possibly can at it. Now, on the flip side of that, the risk of spending yourself poor, you always need to keep in mind ROI, return on investment. For every dollar you spend as a business owner, an executive, an investor, whatever capacity you function in, you always have to say, if I'm putting $1 out, what comes back in? And this could be spending in the traditional sense of buying equipment or machinery or building facilities, or it can be from an operating expense perspective of hiring people, spending money on marketing, advertising. And you need to know this calculus through and through. For every dollar spent in a company, in whatever element or component of the business it is, what ultimately comes back? What is the variation in what comes back? What is the risk that less than $1 is going to come back? And how many iterations of this exercise can you undertake and can you improve before you either become wildly successful or run out of money? But you need to know that, and you need to know it very, very clearly. And so the balancing act will always be taking swings, taking risk when it's opportune to do so, but at the same time conserving capital and not wasting money. If the probability of what you're doing is greater than 50%, even if it fails, so long as there's adequate capital to continue to iterate the process, you will ultimately succeed. And so it's just a matter of getting enough runway, knowing your risks through and through, and pushing forward until you break through to the other side. Topically very simple, in execution can be very challenging, but it's something that we've learned over years and years and years of transactions and working with businesses, and something we bring to the table with all of our clients. Appreciate everyone tuning in this week. Keep pushing forward. God bless, and we'll see you next week.